What up with y'all, man? It's the Mental Ninja. Welcome to the dojo. Shout out to all the homies and shit. You already know who you are. Um, I ain't gonna do a real long video, probably like a 10 or 15 minute one, but I want to talk about the COVID-19 thing again. I've been catching hella fucking shade, hella flack, hella shit on Facebook for posting my views. You know what I'm saying? And like niggas is getting mad. Like I'm not supposed to have views that's separate or opposite what they view as truth and what they view as right. You know, what they view as ethically is good and true. Now I remember the word. I was trying to remember the last video. Hedonistic calculus. Yeah, I be doing that shit, man. Like in my head, I learned how to do it in school and shit, in college and stuff. But I don't know how to. I look at shit through hedonism and shit. I do hedonistic calculus. If you don't know what it is, look it up, man. Learn it. It's fucking a valuable tool in helping to come to informed decisions and shit. You know, and basically, man, like people getting mad. They saying, oh, you should be wearing a mask. That's got to do a conversation with a good friend of mine that's in the rooms and shit, over another person's comment over one of my posts. Like I said something about like, I'm not wearing a mask or whatever and shit. I'm not going to whatever, and motherfuckers ain't dying. Or I said like, I like to apologize to all the people who have not died or gotten sick from COVID-19 for me not wearing a mask and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a joke. Kind of like painting a different narrative and stuff. But one thing people get mad because they've been like fucking, really waterboarded. When you fucking, you know how waterboarding is, man. When you fucking hold a person down, you put a towel over their face, you pour a gallon of water in their face, in their mouth, and they can't breathe. They've been waterboarded this information, this narrative so long that they don't want to, they prefer waterboarding over any other narrative and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would rather lay down and be waterboarded than to be not waterboarded. And here I am, my conversation, my post is non-waterboarding and stuff in a waterboarding way, because I'm posting 5 or 6 things at a time and shit. Boom, 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 boom. So I'll flood, I'll flood my the whatever you call it, not the timeline, but I'll flood the fucking post thing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So people see 4 or 5 of my posts back to back to back, and like eventually it'll catch them. You know what I'm saying? Eventually they'll emotionally react or read, or subconscious picks up everything. You know what I'm saying? So I do it with a method. I use their methods in the same way they use them and shit, but not on the scale that they're able to use theirs on, of marketing and propaganda. Really, it's propaganda. What I do is when I post shit, it's propaganda. Cause I'll post the same thing, the same content 5 or 6 times. It might be different words, might be it's all suggesting around the same idea and stuff. I really don't repeat the words, which is important in propaganda. I don't do that. Because I'm not trying to fucking saturate people and use it in the same way, that way. I am trying to use aspects of it as far as promulgating what I feel. But it's my fucking post, my Facebook, it's a private profile. If they don't like it, they don't like it. That's cool. But one of my boys was like, it was somebody posting about me being kind to wear a mask for other people, and it's like, well, I said like kindness is a two-way street. If for me to be kind is to wear a mask to quell or calm or nurture somebody else's fear or worry, then if it's kindness that is, because kindness isn't like a behavior, kindness isn't like an act, kindness is a state of mind. It's a state of being kind. Okay? Now, if I'm gonna do something just for other people, that's not really kindness, that's more manipulation. It borderlines more towards manipulation. So, me, like, kindness is a two-way street. So, of course, I don't mind if somebody doesn't wear a mask. I don't mind if somebody does wear a mask. What I do mind if they're jumping down my throat telling me to wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you just wear your mask and be okay? And then, they'll drift into superstitious and dogmatic, faulty causality and this really horrible reasoning. Well, if you don't wear a mask, then you can be getting other people sick, and you're a threat. You're like a weapon of mass destruction, like real shit like that on some fucking George Bush, Saddam Hussein, Iran, Iraq shit. Weapons of mass destruction. That's why we're going in, and all we do is just fucking bomb their fucking. We destroy them. We destroy their their infrastructure from the inside by bombing their like soy, milk, and processing plants they use to make food and materials and shit, and not a single fucking bomb or weapon was ever found. And that's kind of what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, we do have people getting sick. Of course, I'm not going to deny that and shit. And even though I can't like factually say, oh, I've witnessed a COVID-19 patient in the city of Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that. That would be lying, you know what I'm saying? I do know somebody who's died from that, you know what I'm saying? Somebody I met once, you know, doesn't matter. It was a good friend of mine, his mom, a couple months ago, and she passed away from it, which is terrible, you know what I'm saying? But you would think it was that bad. It'll be a lot more friends, and it'll be a lot more friends' parents, and it'll be a whole lot more. It'll be like, you know, I mean, like I said, man, I know more people who died from alcoholism and drug addiction over the past few months than have died from COVID-19. And that's just like, that's just the reality of my situation and stuff, you know. Now, going back to the kindness thing and the wearing of the mask, so my boy posted, you know, it's an interesting idea, you know, about like kindness is a two-way street, but like if it's for the greater good of people and stuff, he's kind of repitching, you know, the water, he's actually vomiting up the water and fucking water-gating himself through the fucking towel now. You know what I'm saying? Regurgitating the narrative and shit. Chewing your cud is what the cows do. They throw the food back, they chew it, swallow it, throw it back up, chew it again, swallow it, throw it back up, chew it again, swallow it. It's called a cud, you know. But and he's like, I'm not gonna ask him, you know, how many people do you know that's really suffering from this thing, other than the financial aspect, the economical aspect, the fear aspect, but how many people do you know that's actually died from this shit? You know, and I'm not going to say I know his whole life, because I don't, but from what I see on his Facebook, it's just like the more the stay home, re-encouragement, Vegas strong type shit, which is understandable. It's like more of a rallying thing, a bandwagoning thing, pretty much, you know. But this is like, so what I've heard, and this is like some of the fallacious, illogical thought processes that people are having, you know, around this COVID-19 thing. So I'm pretty sure we all know like shit from the Bible, even if you don't fucking read the Bible. That's just like fucking common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue is kind of like secondhand knowledge. Everybody knows that shit. Everybody knows the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And, you know, people from our country don't even know. It's not from our country know that shit, you know what I'm saying? And basically the narrative goes that if you don't, I think it just fucking post comment on Facebook again. I already know he's gonna come back with the same shit. I doubt he's really willing to bend, because it's just like he's accepted the narrative and he's not willing to go any further than that, you know? And so the narrative is, if you don't wear COVID-19, if you don't wear a mask or something covering your face, whether it be a series of coat hangers, a fucking sock, fucking shoe, fucking cloth, fucking bandana, fucking some really nice fucking Gucci shit mask or whatever, or Prada, Louis Vuitton mask. If you're not walking around with oh, let me look, I'm covering my face up, covering my mouth up and shit, so I can't talk, my mouth covered up. If you're walking around like this, y'all see where I'm going with that one. I hope you caught that one. Then if you're not wearing a mask, then you can contract the virus, and then the virus can lay dormant within your body for 14 days, and then you can spread the virus unknowingly within those whole 14 days, you know, and other people can contract it. So the purpose of the mask is to minimize contraction of the virus and stuff, you know. However, that's like a very, it's almost like playing both sides against the middle type idea. Is you're putting it like you're pushing the goalpost back, because I love that saying. You push, bro Sanchez says it all the time, you pushing the goalpost back and shit, and when they line up, they push it back a little bit more, and they get a little bit closer, push back a little bit more and shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like an insane fucking, it's almost an insane, you know, idea where it's like, well, I got to be careful, because for one, I can contract this thing. For two, it could be dormant 14 days. For three, I could be spreading it right now, breathing it back to myself on the phone. Now, my data and that I've had cut, you know, I haven't contracted shit, nigga. I got the little smoker's cough every once in a while and shit, but nigga, I ain't fucking been hospitalized, fell out, none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? No flu-like symptoms and shit, you know? And that's pushed the post back even farther with all listing any kind of symptom, itchy fucking nose, burning eyes and shit, COVID. You know what I'm saying? Foot start itching, a burning sensation between your toes, COVID. You know what I'm saying? Upset stomach, COVID. Diarrhea, COVID. You know what I'm saying? A cough, COVID. A sneeze, COVID. A booger in your nose, COVID. Yellow shit on your teeth, COVID. You know what I'm saying? Bad breath, COVID. Headache, COVID. And it's like, it's I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's fucking ingenious. It's ingenious how, if it is portrayed in a falsified manner, how they got all the spades, it seems. And they ain't even spades, bro. Like, you got 5 spades, but they keep throwing out spades, and they keep coming with spades, and you got the spades they throwing out, but they ain't spades though, they fucking hearts, and they beating our shit with hearts. They beating our spades with clovers, with clubs and shit. And the thing is, like, spade the top, is Trump. You know what I'm saying? Trump. But anyway, so just pushing the goalpost back like that, and putting all these like basically impossible fears that there's nothing you can do, you're gonna catch it, is pretty much what they wanted you to think. They want you to know, if there's nothing you can do, you're fucked. You're gonna catch this thing. But if you wear a mask, you won't catch it. And people are wearing the mask just because they believe the mask will protect them. If it was me, let's say if I wanted to come with a fucking, I would say insane, but ingenious plot or plan, something like this, I would have used my biggest point of reference on how it could be done by Christians, the biggest religion in the world. They believe so heavily in certain things and shit, and they move for that shit with no fucking proof other than other people believing. And they all group together, they all have the group think, and they believe together, and boom. You see conformity, you see people starting to follow direction based on the suggestion of an idea to the whole. So like it's almost like Christianity turned back. Like, it's almost like Christianity has become a new religion. It's become COVID-19. And to get to heaven, you must accept Jesus Christ for Christianity. But to get to heaven, or to not get sick and not die, you must accept the mask. And people got all these new masks in the marketing and advertising, and the companies that Louis and all these companies come out with Nike masks and all this shit, like it's fucking everybody walking around like it's PUBG and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like to be like a wildfire type sensation and shit. And it's funny, since I mentioned wildfires, right, is that all the rainforests are just catching on fire, and it was burning, it was moving so fast, and that's exactly what we've seen. Basically, they describe like witch hunts and these burnings and these people rioting and stuff, and we've seen that same idea happening here with the COVID-19 of how it's caught fire. The idea of masks caught fire. The idea of having nice little customized masks caught fire, and it seems crazy, right? But so this is the logic, okay? I tell a person, I haven't been wearing a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. They like, well, you can catch the disease. They're like, well, they start warning me. Well, if you don't accept the name of Jesus Christ, you could go to hell and burn forever and like a sulfur and shit, be tormented forever by demons and devils and shit like that. So they'll fucking cut your body up with fucking toenail clippers and shit, starting with your toes. You know what I'm saying? Clip each piece away. There's like a pile of fucking U clippings on the ground. Put you back together and do it again. It's like dogmatic, but I almost lost track. Anyway, so you said to a person, I'm not wearing a mask, I haven't worn a mask, and then they'll get into a fear thought like, oh my God, they're projecting like that you've been like running around fucking, chemistry labs, biology labs and shit, like naked and shit, with all the biology fucking spilled on the ground, slipping in it, rolling around, showering in it, breathing in it, licking it and shit. You've been sprinkling COVID on your fucking fries and shit, eating like that and shit. And they're like, well, that if you don't wear a mask, you can contract the disease and not even know it. You can contract the virus and not even know it. And it can lay dormant for 14 days. And then you can get everybody else sick. Well, this thing's been going on for like 70 some days, maybe 80 days. Nobody's gotten sick that I know. None of the people I've been around been sick around me and shit, you know what I'm saying? And none of the people that don't wear masks that I'll be around have anybody that's been sick around them from the shit, you know what I'm saying? And so when you say, well, nobody's getting sick, you know what they think? you can have it right now. Remember, it's 14 days of dormancy. So basically, if you tell somebody you don't wear a mask, you haven't worn a mask, right? And look, if they see you and you're not wearing a mask, they're not really going to say nothing. Maybe you forgot it. Though some reasoning will say, oh, there's a reason why. But then you tell them, hey, I've not worn a mask. You know, I've worn a mask like 8 times because I have to wear a mask to enter some meetings. But when you get in, you can take it off. And that's only the past like 5 or 6 days. I wore a mask once at my mom's house because it satisfied her fears because it's my fucking mom and she takes care of my kid and I want to see my kid. Simple as that. So, hey, when in Rome, dress the Romans, but you don't got to fucking be a Roman. Period. You got to wear their outfits. So, you tell a person that you haven't worn a mask and then they become frightened and they give you the narrative, oh, it could be 14 days, you can get everybody sick, you can blah, 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 blah. They'll stand back for you and shit. And if you're like, well, I haven't fucking got anybody sick in the last 18 days. And they're like, well, you could have contracted it 4 days after the 18 days. That equals 14. You know, you could have, after the 14 days, you didn't get nothing happened, then you could have caught it at the 12 o'clock. At the minute that 14th day ended, you could have caught it then, at that very moment. And now you have 10 more days to see if you have the symptoms. And it's like, it's almost like they'll go all the way to say that as soon as you tell them that you haven't worn a mask and you haven't contracted nothing, you haven't had any symptoms in 14 or 20 days or 30 days, they will respond to you like, you could have just contracted as soon as you said that. I swear to fucking God, bro. That's exactly what I'm experiencing with the mindsets, bro. And of course, they're not saying that, but their minds are running in that fucking line of reasoning, that train of thought and shit, that superstitious dogmatic thought process and shit. You know, and like, one thing about me wearing a mask to cure somebody else's fear, but what if I don't want to fucking wear a mask and I'm in fear that they're gonna make me? Can I have my fear cured too? Like, I don't have to wear a mask and shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, is that too hard to ask? And to them, it is an unreasonable and unwarranted demand because they are stuck. They are under the fucking towel and the water is coming down their fucking throats, into their esophagus, into their flesh, same thing, into their lungs, and they don't know anything else but the waterboarding. It's like Stockholm syndrome and shit, and they're not going to question it. And there's not many people in our society that are willing to question things. You can tell because you go to Walmart, how many people are wearing masks now? Those people are not going to question shit. Those people are going to follow directions. And I'll say this, look. I look on Facebook, niggas got the little mask on their face and their little profile pic. You know what I'm saying? Stay home, stay safe. You go outside, all the billboards, stay home, stay safe. On fucking PlayStation, stay home, stay safe. Commercials, stay home, stay safe. Fucking all advertisements become stay home, stay safe. So what we have going on is a massive fucking propaganda scheme. It's a scheme. And basically what I would say would be to enforce it to a long enough position, tell people it's okay, say it gets worse, they'll fucking, oh shit, they'll think it's okay, no second guess, no, and then by like 8 months, 9 months, a year, whatever, you will have a very small percentage of people that are not wearing masks, and now you're a target. And it's insane, because I can see the whole thing happening. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm saying if it continues, if things keep going the way I'm seeing them go, and the thoughts I have, I keep seeing them pretty much come into fruition. I'm not a prophet. I'm just looking at the fucking paper. I'm looking at the paper trail. Then one day I will be wearing a mask only to be in Rome. And that's a secret for all of us that are against this shit, that don't really believe it's as bad as it is. I know people in New York say the same shit. In New York, look, a dude told me, man, I ain't gonna go into it. But all I want you to know is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do, but you do not have to be a Roman. You just have to dress like them. You just have to move like them. That's what spies do. And I'm not a spy or nothing, because I'm a fucking felon. You already know that, though. You know what I'm saying? But there's a way that when you go to a black tie affair, you should wear a black tie, even if you don't agree with it. I'm not saying, oh, wear a mask right now, but when it comes to it, it'll be our only protection. Not against the disease, but against the mental disease of the people's mindset enforced on them by their willingness to obey and follow other people that they don't know, they never met, that they know that they are communicated to through fucking media. Remember, The media promotes the government agenda or the government perspective to move the people. It's all marketing. They've been collecting all the marketing data to come up with better fucking ways to market, and this is what we are looking at is one of the greatest marketing advertisement propaganda schemes that ever hit mankind since the invention of Christianity or just religion in itself. You know what I'm saying? When fear has become corporatized, straight up, and people, what we'll do is we'll bring a whole new supply and demand based on fear, based just on fear and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to keep in your heads. If you know, a suggestion to keep in your head, to something you may want to consider. And if you notice how I talk, I try not to use absolutes. I try not to use you must and you have to and stuff. I try to keep it open and shit. And I feel like that should be. I feel like that's how the world should be, but the world's not. So if the world's not going to do it, I might as well be the one to do it if I feel like that's right. People should be given the option. But once you remove options, you remove freedom. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it may be important for us to keep ourselves ahead of the curve and watch what happens and be willing and ready to suit up just for protection of our own equal rights, our own mindset and stuff. Even knowing that we still don't agree, it's still okay. You still have government over your mind. The reason people need governments is because they cannot adequately govern themselves, and I do understand that. You leave a fucking kindergarten class, and chaos ensues. But there may be one or two kids in that room that will behave because they know in their hearts what is right, and they don't have to participate because other kids will do it. At the same time, the first kid that starts the chaos, he may be one of the smart ones too, because he's like, oh shit, let's do it. And the kids that follow through are just doing that, following through. So you look at the person who starts it, and you look at the person that's not doing it. The first person not doing it, the first person to start it are the smart ones. Okay, so yeah, I just want to talk about that little COVID shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just a couple thoughts and stuff. I'm about to go jump on Facebook before I jump into bed, and I already know my boy's giving this, you know, this dissertation of how like to reaffirm the fear. And the bad thing about it is like, you know, but it's for the greater good. It's for the good of all. I was like, bro, the shit I'm seeing, I told him, I was like, look, the stuff the media is telling me is not adding up to what I'm seeing in reality. And for me to be like, well, it just hasn't hit here yet. I'm in fucking Vegas. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people. I've been moving around the fucking Southwest, going to other states, driving around and shit, stopping at gas stations, stopping at stores and shit. I see the people playing the game. I just don't see the game. I just don't see the motherfucking little minions in the game. It's like you running through Mario when there ain't no fucking little mushroom niggas and shit. Nothing. But you playing Mario though. You know what I'm saying? So you show to a buffet. There ain't no fucking food in the buffet. Everybody's sitting down with like they eating. They chewing food, but ain't no food on their plates, nigga. You know, but I feel like if I don't want to wear a mask, it's okay. And if I'm gonna die from that shit, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die anyway. But I'm not dead. I haven't gotten sick. And I've been doing the most. Hitting meetings, doing all this shit. And it can be looked at as like rebellion, but maybe it's just I see something different that the people aren't seeing because they're only seeing what the news media is telling them. And the news media is telling them what the government, the CDC and Trump and the government and all the WHO and all these people, they work together. They're not separate agencies. They are a coordinated effort. That's why a point guard, a small forward, a power forward, a shooting guard, and a center, they may play different positions, but they're on the fucking same team. And in equality, the opposite team with this point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center, they may be on the opposite team. They may have opposite positions in parallel on offense and defense, but they're there playing the same game for the same fucking reason. That's why you don't need to pick sides. Notice it's all a game. Notice they're both on the same side because they're interacting together. It's us that we pick the sides and shit. And in their heads, they pick the sides. I'm against this team, but you can't be against a team if there's no other team. If it's just your team. You know what I'm saying? So that's my little shit. Covid-19 shit, you know what I'm saying? They're probably gonna screen this one in process. I might get my shit blocked or banned or whatever, but it's just open thought, you know what I'm saying? Giving my experiences of what I've noticed and stuff. I'm not saying this is an absolute because I do not know. I can only speak from my own experiences straight up. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got for you. Peace out.